Hello, friends. Danny Smith. I'm here with Mom and Daddy, and thought today we would tell you little stories or have them tell you some stories of just how crazy it was being around Elvis.
And
Well,
fun. And fun.
and fun, always fun.
Always fun.
We little story we tell is one time back in band camp. No,
No, he's just,
That's okay. That's okay.
but one
That's
time
great.
in 1975, Elvis had bought several of us Lincolns, and so he decided he wanted to show it off. So he said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "let's go to Nashville. We'll see Lamar and we'll show him the cars and maybe spend the night up there." So we got gassed up, all the cars, and everybody got ready and took a change of clothes. And
Everybody was going to drive their car except
yeah,
he wouldn't let us.
he didn't want us to.
We had to ride with him,
Right. He
and Ricky was driving our
driving ours, which my heart almost stopped. But anyway, we got on the road and we started, and got to, I guess maybe 20
Winchester.
miles, about 20 miles down the road. Elvis pulled over. We got out and we got to chatting. And he said, "Yeah, we could take it up there." And he said, "We'll show Lamar." And he said, "You know, naturally I'm going to buy Lamar one too, but we're just going to take him up there and show him." And so we stood around talking for a minute, and it wasn't but just a very short time. He looked around and he said, "I got a better idea." He said, "Hell, let's go back home." He said, "We'll have Lamar come down here and see him." So that was the end of our trip. We headed
Big
on
trip.
back home.
Big trip.
He was like that. You never knew what he was going to do. Boy, he
Never
changed his
knew.
mind a minute.
But
Uh,
nothing was ever dull. It was never a dull
never.
moment. Never.
I know once we was also on the same lines. It was coming a storm.
Oh.
And lightning, and they had reports of tornadoes and everything else. So Elvis decided he wanted to take a couple of people up in the Jetstar,
Which was us.
which was us. Well, no, it was a couple. Remember, he met those two fans at
Yeah.
the service station. He
Yeah.
was going to take him out there and show him his plane, take him up. And so we got loaded up. We headed to the airport, and we got out there, and I had already contacted Milo High, which was his pilot for the Jetstar and all. And so Elvis, he was all excited and everything, and Milo, he called me over the side, and he said, "You know," he said, "it's awful rough weather," and he said, "there's tornado reports all around." He said, "It's really not a good time to go up." He said, "You sure he wants to go up?" And I said, "Well, he's wanting to, but I tell you what," I said, "let me talk to him a minute." So I went over and talked to him. He said, "Nah," he said, "he'd fly up above it." Said, "Won't be no problem at all." And by then, Milo had gotten my attention. And I wasn't real crazy about flying in storms anyway, because So I said, "Look," I said, let's make it another time." I said, "I'll get their address and all, and we'll call them, and we'll go another time when it's a real nice day." "Oh, no, we're going to go now." And he said, "It'd be fine. Everything's going to be fine." Well, with Elvis, gosh, he made it sound so good, I was almost tempted. So I thought about him, and I said, "No, Elvis," I said, "look," I said, I'm just, that scares me. I just don't." I said, "He's had reports of tornadoes around and all that." I said, "Maybe we ought to make it another time." Well, hell, if everybody's going to be scared to death and all this and all that, and about halfway hacked him off. He said, "Well, let's go another time." So instead, we just got on the Jetstar, and we sat there and we talked for a while and come out, and of course, all by then, everybody was drenching wet. It was, just
Coming a flood.
He said, "Well, let's go home. That's it." He said, "The party's over." So we headed on back to Graceland. Made it another day.
And it was pouring down rain,
Oh,
and we were
gosh.
on the three-wheelers.
Three-wheelers, yeah. What
Yeah.
I tell, I forgot, we had gone out on the
Yeah.
three-wheeler. Boy, and we were, I mean, drenched from one end to the other. And
But it was not. It
That
was
was-
a usual day for us.
that was what was fun about it. You just didn't know.
never
I mean,
knew.
you know, it didn't make any
Never
difference
knew.
if it was raining or if you was on three-wheelers or what. When Elvis decided he wanted to
Go
do something,
or do
he
something.
did it. And that's what made it all so much fun. You just never, he was so spontaneous, you just never knew what was going to happen.
Well, I'd like to say, too, thank you for all your wonderful comments.
Yeah.
We enjoy doing these videos, and we're glad y'all enjoy them. And just like to say, remember, we always live Elvis.
And we still do.
And always
And
will.
always will.